Hello and welcome to my brand new channel for all things tech and gadgets, and this channel is going to focus on everything from Macs to PCs to consumer items and to your favorite gadgets. Now this first tutorial series that I'm doing for you is going to focus on the Apple Mac. The reason being is that a lot of people are starting to come across to the Apple world once they've realized that actually it's not so scary, it's quite simple to use, and in fact you can do most things you could do on a PC on the Apple, and usually you can do it a lot quicker and a lot better. Controversial, I know, but I'll leave that up to you once you start getting your head around it, and you can let me know in the comments below. This first video is going to show you the basics, the very basics. You've just got your new Apple Mac and you're not quite sure what to do or how to do it. Everything's a little bit back to front, upside down. It doesn't quite work the way you used to if you've come from a PC. And so this is going to help you adjust from becoming a PC user to a Mac person. And even for those that have never really been a PC or a Mac person, and this is your first big computer, your first laptop, then this will take you through those little baby steps at the start that gets you navigating around and exploring yourself and becoming a bit more familiar with things. As I said, tutorials are going to be coming fast and furious. They're going to be coming at least a couple of times a week, and they're going to start focusing on the more specifics of the Apple software, such things as how to change your settings, how to use the different applications, how to create this new environment for yourself and enabling it to work the way you want and not the way the computer wants to necessarily. So to begin with, we'll dive right in. So straight away in front of you, this is how it's going to look when you first start up, when you first create your first user account on the Apple Mac, whether that's a MacBook, a laptop, or an iMac, or a Mac Pro, Tower PC, whatever you want. This is how it's going to look. I've not changed anything from when I first set this up, apart from this little green thing at the bottom, which is the application I'm using now to create this video. So, if you have a look in front of you, you've got this great open expanse. This is called your desktop. This is very similar to how the PCs used to be. This is where you can dump all your regularly used documents, folders, applications, files, you name it. You can save them onto here and have them open right at your fingertips. Myself, I tend to like it nice and clean, and obviously with this being brand new, there's not much on there. But we'll come back to that a bit later on. So this is the desktop. Now, at the bottom here, you've got this little toolbar, as it were, which in Apple language is called the dock. Now, this is where all your most commonly used applications are put. Now, the reason it's called the dock is because you can dock your favorite applications to here. This is not something that has to stay like this. You can remove items, you can add items, you can customize it completely to how you want it. But this is very handy. This is always here. It's always open no matter what application you've got, unless, for example, you choose to hide it, which again, something completely up to you, but by default, it's always shown at the bottom over here. And you've got such applications as Safari, which is your internet browser, Mail for your emails, you've got contacts, calendar, notes. These all sync across all your Apple devices. If you've got an iPhone or an iPad or iPod, anything like that that can open these applications, these will sync across. So whatever information you put in here will be available on all your other devices. You've got maps, photos, they're pretty self-explanatory. You've got your iTunes over here, which allows you to purchase new music or films. It also allows you to back up your other devices like your iPhone or your iPad, so it stores all its information on the computer nice and safely. You've also got your App Store over here. This is where you can download other applications, other software to use on your Mac. And this little 12 symbol here, all that means is basically I've got updates, 12 updates awaiting me later on. Also on here, you've got this little cogwheel. Now this is quite handy. This is your system preferences, or in PC language, your system settings. This is where you can adjust all your different needs. So you can change the color, you can change the speed of things, change the sound, the display, you name it. If you need to adjust it, it's going to be in that little application down there. Now, up the top here on the right hand side, on this little toolbar at the top, or the navigation pane as I call it, you've got a few icons on the right hand side. Now, these will tend to stay the same no matter what application you're using. Now, the only different things are going to be what appears to the left of this. You can have different applications up here for quick access, and obviously you won't have this little red film strip on yours, as again this is linked to the software I'm using to create this tutorial. But I'll quickly show you what these different things mean. On the right hand side here, you've got your notifications pane. When you open it, it will open up to this little page here. So you've got these different widgets down the side here. Now, widgets are basically little bits of software that run within this that allow you to show information that you want to see on a quick basis. So, for example, if you're interested in finances, you've got your stocks, you've got your calendars, the weather, what events are going to be happening tomorrow, and you can click this little toolbar, this little cog down here to adjust what different widgets you want on here. Again, notification-wise, you click on there just like your iPhone or your Android phone. If you get a Facebook message or a text message or an email or something like that, they'll show up here in the notifications panel to the right. So that's just a quick way of accessing new information that's coming in that may want your attention. To the left of that, you've got this little magnifying glass. Now, this is called Spotlight. Now, this is a very powerful tool across the Mac range that allows you to search for absolutely anything. So if you need to open up a file that you've just saved, you can start typing it in. It will look for files, folders, applications. It will even start searching the internet as well. So if you need directions, if you need to know, the best restaurant nearby and then how to get there, it's a very quick way of searching both your Mac and the internet should you need to. This is the default place to come to if you need to search for something. This here, that's who I am over there. That will display your name by default. This is to just let you know who's logged into this Mac at this particular time. If you've got different users for different members of the family, for example, so that you can't see or adjust other people's files, then this just lets you know which one of those users is currently logged in. To the left of that, again, you've got the day and time. This is going to be adjusted to show either 12, 24-hour clock, whether you want the date, whether you want the day. It's completely up to you. And then to the left of that, you've got the battery symbol, as I'm currently on a laptop, an Apple Mac. If I click on that, it very helpfully tells me how much battery time I've got remaining. It tells me that I am on battery at the moment, and it tells me what application is currently using the most amount of power. Now, this time here tells you how much time is remaining based on what the current usage you're using at this particular time. Obviously, if I was to close this application, then the time remaining would probably go up. If I was to start watching videos and playing games, then that would go down. It's very handy. It's mostly quite accurate. And so just keep an eye on that, especially if you are going to be using it a lot, if you're on a train or something like that and you need it to last the whole way. This quite handily tells you what you're doing and how it's affecting your battery. If you were to plug it into the charger, this will then change and say how long is left until you have a full charge. Again, quite handy. And if I wanted to actually see a percentage on there, I've just got to click show percentage, and voila, there it is right next to it. Going to the left of that again, you've got your Wi-Fi. Now this is turned on or off just by clicking turn Wi-Fi off or turn Wi-Fi on, and it will then start searching for the nearest hotspots available to you or routers, and you can see by the padlocks which ones are locked or need a security code to access, and which ones are open that you can join without a password at your own risk. There's a few other settings down the bottom here which we'll go into in further detail on a later video. Next to that, you've got your AirPlay. Now this is a Apple specific feature which allows you to share your screen with an Apple AirPlay device such as an Apple TV. You can then share that to your Apple TV, which will then display on your big screen. And say, for example, you're playing a YouTube video and you want to show everyone else in the room, this is a great way of just pinging it up onto your main TV and off you go. Now if we look to the left hand side here, you see this little black apple there. Now if you click on that, you're going to get the Apple menu. Now this is a very important menu. This allows you to turn off your computer. So at the end of the day, if you want to shut it down, just click the Apple menu and click on Shut Down. If I was to do that now, it then comes up with a little timer. So if I was to leave the screen as it is now for a minute, it will then just shut down automatically. But if I want to shut down straight away, all I do is click the shutdown shutdown button just over here that's highlighted in blue. This little tick box here is also very handy. You don't need to to exit all your applications before you shut down. So say, for example, you had your email open and the internet and a document. As long as it's saved, if you click shut down, it will close those applications for you. And then if this little tick box is in blue and got a little tick in it, when you restart your computer, it will reopen all those different applications for you, so you can start off where you left last time. It's very handy indeed. Just going back to that menu again, you've also got restart, which is as it says on the tin, and you've got sleep. Now this is the default that your laptop version, your MacBook, will go to when you close the lid. What that does is it turns off the screen, it shuts down the hard drive, and it basically puts it into a very minimal state, so it uses the least amount of energy it possibly can. But this allows you that when you open the screen again, or press a key or move a mouse, for it to start up within a matter of 1 or 2 seconds. So this is very quick to start going again. This is what I tend to do by default, so that when I open my MacBook, it's ready and rearing to go within a second or two. And you can usually stay in sleep mode for days on end before the battery starts to diminish significantly. If obviously you want to shut down, you're going to be leaving it for quite a while, or you need to really conserve all the battery you've got, then the shutdown's the best option. But the only way to start that up again is to press the power button. The other useful thing in here is the system preferences. Now this is what allows you to change pretty much everything to do with the Apple software, or OS X as it's called. This is the back end of the system. You can change everything from the display to the keyboard to the mouse, you name it, that's where you'll find it. And that's exactly the same thing as this little grey cog down here. So there's 2 ways of getting to it. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in the next video, is everything about system preferences, how we go in and change the settings, what all these different icons mean, and how they affect how you use your MacBook. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've learned something, and if you've been brand new to the Apple world, you'll be able to hopefully navigate around, and when someone mentions to you, oh, it's in the dock, you'll know to look down here, navigation panel, it's at the top there, and you can start having a little play around, especially with these little items over here, seeing what they do and how you can change them, and how the information it gives you is going to be the most useful that it can be for what you want to do with it. If you've enjoyed this video, or you've learned something, then please click the little hands up button, the thumbs up button below, give me a thumbs up. If you want to keep in touch and be advised of any of the new videos which are going to be coming thick and fast, then please click subscribe below, and I hope to see you on the next video, which is going to focus on the system preferences. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.